New season's coming up real quick. We're getting everything all ready and dialed in. And one of the things that we had planned was to do a couple desert races this year. Last time I did the UTV World Championship, we were stuck out in the desert for God knows how long, probably 8 hours or so. And so I was looking for some companies to help out to be able to repair things like a radiator, a hole in your oil tank, those types of things, and even fix tie rods or frame mounts. And we found Lance over at SolderWeld. Man, he has been showing me some awesome stuff. What's up, Lance?
How we doing?
The cool stuff about his product is that I'll show you some of the stuff here. He's got some rods. He's got a product called Hot Block. And these rods do different things and fix different portions of the vehicle. The main thing is the radiators. A lot of people get holes in the radiator, short course racing, desert racing, and even stuff like, missing shock mounts.
All the time.
Yeah, and this stuff is even better than just fixing it and getting to the next pit. You can actually go out and finish the race and use the product again for the next race. You don't have to buy a new radiator. So I wanted to show you guys first what we're gonna do. We're actually gonna take this pretty much brand new radiator with a couple little scratches in it. And
a hole right here.
Little tiny hole.
But we're gonna put another one in bigger just so you can see. Hey, give you an example. You have a rock that flies into and hits your radiator, your oil cooler, an oil pan, anything aluminum. In the past, you haven't had something to be able to fix it with, and now you do. So first of all I'm going to introduce, it's called Alloy Sol. Now this is the one at the Mint 400 in the Baja. We've got lots of racers that are currently have this in their toolbox. And we're starting to find that they're wanting us to come up with an actual kit that could even strap onto the UTV or to their truck. So these rods are a solid core rod. It's an 18-inch rod, but if you wanted not to have to carry an 18-inch rod, it's perfectly fine. Fold it in half, bring pieces of it if that's what you want to do. But the main key is going to be this right here. And so this is called Alloy Sol Flux. And it's the only flux in the industry that decontaminates the aluminum surface. So let's have a little bit of fun with this first. We're gonna turn on a torch, and a lot of these companies, you can actually get an even smaller torch, but you're gonna need at least propane or MAP gas, something that'll provide us enough heat. So first...
But all stuff that you can easily fit in a pouch. This stuff is, he showed me it before, man. This stuff is really cool.
All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna heat up the end of the rod. There's no magic here. All we're doing is dipping it into the flux. Now here's the key. The flux is going to decontaminate the aluminum surface for you, so you do not have to pre-clean the aluminum. So if you're stuck in the middle of the desert and you need a fix right now, instead of spending 6 hours trying to figure out a way or putting some kind of a temporary fix on that, all you're going to do is this. Okay, we're going to melt the flux off. Okay, right into the hole. It will not contaminate the inside of our fix. Okay, it won't contaminate the inside of the radiator, but it is going to allow us to be able to make this fix on the radiator while there's still fluid, oils, and contaminants inside. Now it's okay, take your time. Aluminum melts at 1190 degrees. This rod flows out at 600 degrees. Now the cool thing about the flux is that it'll turn clear when it's telling you the aluminum is at temperature. When you see that flux go clear like that, just lay the rod over the hole and allow the heat to draw the material right down in there for you. And then right there, you can smooth it out a little bit. And what you have is a beautiful repair, and you're done, right? And that's a complete repair. Now, even though we have a little bird poop on there, if we had just laid a little bit of the rod, you wouldn't see that, but I want to make sure that it's a complete repair for you.
Yeah, that's super cool. And especially like if you're out at the dunes too. Let's just say you're having fun with your family and something happens to the car. You always have to go back into town or wherever you got to go. It's easy if you just have this stuff on hand on the trailer, on the rig, and then you just patch it up real quick, and you can continue for the rest of your weekend.
Okay, check out one other thing that we're going to show you with this alongside is if you're new to this, or if this is the first time you're ever making a fix like this, take out a little bit of the hot block, and remember this is 100% reusable. So just take out a little bit of that and put it on both sides of where you're making your repair. That way, if you've got a lot of heat going in that area, it will absorb all the heat and won't burn up any other fins or micro channel. You can make your repair and it'll absorb the heat and almost focus the heat right onto your specific area. So that way you just protect the rest of the radiator. Since you're in the race, you want to get back into the race. This was a 60-second fix, and we're back in the race, and then you take this back, it's 100% reusable.
Yeah, bring some of that stuff over here real quick. So like if we've seen a few people have issues with like big oil tanks and stuff. So on the Yamaha YXZ, you have an oil tank right here, and then you have these lines that come off the oil tank. So you have one down here, and you have one up there. Let's just say you get a hole somewhere in this area right here. You're gonna want to put that.
Wrap this all the way around, hey, the entire area. It will protect your hoses, it'll protect the fittings, it will protect any heat from transferring past this area. So wrap it around there, and when you're done, hey, just pull it right off, put it back in the tub, and you're good to go.
Cool. Yeah, that'd be a huge thing. So if you get a hole in your oil tank, you can obviously just repair it real quick as well.
Yeah, so any aluminum lines, any oil tanks, if you get a rock comes up and puts a hole in the bottom of this, you could fix this right on the track, no problem, and it's a complete 100% fix. So you've got a 30,000 PSI repair on aluminum that normally would take you entirely out of the race.
Wow, 30,000 PSI is pretty good too, man.
Yeah, that's the strength. So, I mean, you get into as well, something, George, you wanted me to show when it comes to fabrication side of things also. Let's say you're in a scenario where you need to fabricate a tank or something. Or,
yeah, let's look at that one.
Yeah, so if you wanted to, fabricate a tank and you don't have an expensive TIG machine to be able to do, aluminum, or you just aren't very good at doing aluminum, so you could actually fabricate with this rod as well. So let me show you what this looks like and how cool this is. But we'll do the same thing. We're just going to grab the rod, right, and we're going to use the flux. Now, for those of you that get to, you want to take out one of the steps in this, we actually have a new flux core rod that the flux is already in the rod, which makes it really nice for you to be able to work with. For those of you that just want this an all-around repair rod, Alloy Sol is the one you want to work with. Now, all we're going to do is we've got two plates here, two aluminum plates. The flux is going to do all the work for us. We want it to decontaminate the grease and the oil that's on the plates. And then watch when the flux goes nice and clear. It's telling us that these thin aluminum plates are at temperature. You're going to lay the rod down and you're going to focus the heat right on the rod. And just smooth it out nicely. And you can whoop, that's not good. Hold on a second here. We can still save this while it's still hot.
Oh, so you'll still be able to do it again?
Oh yeah, don't worry. Yeah, so while we're every once in a while.
So this would be like this would be a case too that you could, if you do mess up on some of the,
you can come back and fix it, no problem. Yeah. So bring it in while it's still hot like that. Add a little bit more flux and just nicely lay the rod in there, and you can see that you can smooth it out. Now the cool thing about this is that anything that you can do to the aluminum, you can still do to the deposit. So you can grind it, tap it, drill it, thread it, plate it. Anything you can do to the parent metal, you can do to that deposit.
That's awesome.
Smooth it out nicely and you're good to go.
That's cool, because I probably would have made a mistake when I first tried it, and I wouldn't have known that you could just repair it again like that.
Come right back in and do it again. Just add to it, bring some more flux in, and then just sand it. Now it will retain the exact same color match as the parent metal. So whether you are fabricating, as an example, you're fabricating a piece and you want to be able to have a strong, sturdy bond. That's a 30,000 PSI. If you already want the flux in the rod, it's alloy braze is the and the flux is in the rod, as opposed to a solid core rod. You've got the flux already in it, which is
cool.
you know, super nice for a lot of guys too.
And you said like the reason that I was out in the middle of the desert was because I had broken a tie rod. And so I had to actually, I was telling you the story, tie my driver's suit around it to try to get further to a checkpoint where I could get picked up.
Yeah.
So I think it would be really cool if you could have multiple different ways of bonding metal, like not just aluminum, right?
So one of our most popular rods right now is called Silsol 56. And what this is a silver solder. It's the #1 cast iron repair rod on the market right now. The flux is on the rod. So as you can see, okay, the flux is on the rod. So give you an example. If we're coming in here and you've got a tie rod end that breaks off, right? You could actually fix that with this product. You're going to pull it off, or you're going to use the hot block to focus in the heat, and then you're going to come in and you're going to melt the flux off of the...
or even like a shock mount or something?
Correct, yeah, with no problem. You can actually make that repair with no issues, no problems, and then of course you've got a fix that's a 90,000 psi. So the strength on this is welding pressures. So this is one of those rods that you have in the toolbox, or you have on the vehicle for that very purpose, a tie rod end, steel, stainless steel. It's a perfect color match to stainless steel, but it'll save you literally, and it will take the vibration too.
That's so rad. So the biggest thing that we would have to worry about is just getting an actual torch to fit in our toolkit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, that's pretty easy because we could find something. So at the UTV World Championship, I'm not going to be stranded out in the desert anymore. That's going to be awesome. Yeah. Well, thanks, dude. I appreciate you coming over and showing me all this stuff, making the trek down to Arizona and coming and enjoying some of this nice weather. So here's the fix that we did. And now we can go use this radiator again. Thanks, man. You saved me a radiator.
All right.
All right, guys. We'll see you soon.